Matthew Field. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you.
I,
Um, eh,
I you are in the UK. Why are you? I know you're playing, but you're only playing in October. What is the story?
um, I'm pretty much basing my activities here at the moment.
Okay.
So I sort of just moved over uh, in order to like I've got a studio here that I'm working on. I've got management here, so I'm kind of just trying to like do as much as I can. Um, it's been my plan for kind of a while to do something like this, so it's like the first time that I'm actually here in that way, which is kind of
Okay.
exciting.
Especially, I suppose, after
Yeah.
a year of nothing, not being able to tour music, not being able to connect with your fans. I suppose this has given you something to like focus on and look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of I think it's also an environment which is just sort of like stimulating, challenging, and I was kind of comfortable where I was, and now I'm a little bit more spurred on, I think, to do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your song Gargoyle charted on the SA Sub 20 on Jackrand
Yeah.
FM.
Oh,
I play it a lot on my show. We
thanks.
love the song. Tell me a
Thanks so
little
much.
bit about the move over from being Beatenburg to being MField, and what some of the changes were for you personally in that space.
Well, it's not an exclusive thing. I think it's more of a kind of just a new branch, really. I think the Beatenbug thing is still we haven't done much over the last year, but we still have plans. So it's not sort of like a move over, like, as in like not doing Beatenbug anymore. Definitely, I see them as two concurrent things. But I think it was just a situation where I had a lot of songs and like uh, everyone was in different cities, and it made the most sense to just like go with the songs and do what I wanted to do in a kind of helicopter.
So good.
Um, yeah, it just made the most sense to do it in a solo capacity because that was something that I always imagined doing at some point, um, and the timing seemed right, so I just went for it. Um, and I don't really see it as fundamentally different because I still just write songs and play them, but it's just a different context, and then it slowly probably it will evolve into its own thing. But it's still pretty early, so I'm still like, figuring it all out. But mainly, I just want to just do music and put it out. So whichever way I can do that.
So like when we think of a band like Beatenberg or a group of people, I imagine you guys in a studio like bouncing ideas off of each other. And if it's someone's gonna tell you, and if it's great, people are gonna get excited. But when you're alone, I don't know. I would maybe be more anxious to like put this creation out into the world without
Yeah,
the people that I
like it's
trust.
actually a good thing. Yeah, I think that one of the many things that I really value about having guys like Rob and Ross in my life and as part of my musical I don't know practice is that like I really trust them musically, and when they're excited about something, it really affirms that for me. So yeah, it is different when you don't have that. But I think it's there are other ways to get that certainty, and I think maybe it's also kind of healthy to have to exercise that confidence and self belief. Um, I think you know to probably will make me a better collaborator. I think with them
Mm.
because as much as other people can give you affirmation about something, I think you really have to believe in it yourself. I don't think it works if you don't. Um, so I think in a weird way, maybe it's been yeah, one could see this as an exercise in doing that. I mean, that's not the whole point of it, but yeah, I haven't felt too much like too sort of naked and alone doing this. I felt I have I have support around me as well, um, and other people who will listen to things. And but yeah, you're right. It's a different context, but I think it's yeah, I think it's productive.
Have you ever done something that you have felt was the absolute best thing, and this was the new single and it's great, and everyone around you goes, "Mm-mm, no, dude, no, we're going to shelve this one for now"? Has that happened?
Um, no, I don't think I've really had that kind of. I mean, I think people generally have treated me quite like carefully for whatever reason. But I don't think that I've ever thought something's a single, like a big hit, and then everyone's been like, no ways. But there have been times, I think maybe when I've been more excited about something uh, like than other people. But sometimes that's also maybe in my own head. I sometimes, yeah, I don't know. I sometimes like think, oh, no one likes this song, but it's actually really good. I don't know. That doesn't really, yeah. That's not. It's not often that's the case. Yeah.
have I have this theory that I want to bounce off you quickly, because as an artist, as a writer, I feel like you guys were better set up for a global pandemic and being alone with your feelings and your thoughts, because you guys do this all the time, right? And you guys are able to express. The rest of us in a
Yeah.
global pandemic went out and bought journals for days and opened them to blank pages and were kind of looking at them going, well, what do we write, right? Because everyone was journaling. Do you think that you
I do
guys
every day.
were better at it?
Um, better at it, I don't know, but I do think that I've found a lot of what is required for like life in a pandemic come kind of naturally to me. I think being secluded or being alone with your guitar, with your computer, or your book, or whatever it is. That's like, it's kind of like, even though in life I've learned to force myself to go out into the world, and it's really rewarding, and I've become kind of social, but it's still very like the most comfortable place for me. Being by myself with some stuff I'm doing that I think is cool. So yeah, in many ways, I think it has been a little bit easier on me, and I also had the space to do that. Um, so yeah, I guess so. I guess it is kind of like an asset in this time to do something of that kind. I think maybe yeah. I think more than anything else, it's that what I do, a large part of what I do is not contingent on um, person to person interactions.
Mm.
So there are a lot of creative disciplines where you might be a really creative person, but you actually need to really fully do what you're doing. You need to be working with other people, like I don't know, maybe dance, or if you filmmaker or something. You literally can't do those things. But I'm sure probably in every discipline there's an aspect of what you do that you can work on your own. And for me, that aspect is quite like extensive. I can spend a long time just with my own stuff, but then it gets too much as well, and I also need to work with other people eventually.
Well,
But yeah,
I was
it's
just gonna say,
I've been grateful for.
sorry I interrupted you. I was just gonna say, like, you're making me feel so jealous, because I went into lockdown as a social butterfly and this people's person, and I'm coming out of it going, I don't
Mm.
actually like people, and I really like being an introvert. Like, I've switched completely to the introverted
Yeah,
space.
well, yeah, probably people realize that they have that capacity, they just haven't really like tapped into it.
Mm.
So that's cool. I hope you don't hate people for good now, but
I
yeah,
mean, hate's a
I
strong
think
word, right?
a certain amount of like, yeah,
I,
um
I prefer my dog. Let's put
misanthrope.
it that way. I much prefer my dog.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what kind of dog do you have?
I have a border collie.
Okay, sweet. I like those
Yeah, they're
shepherd
good
dogs.
dogs. They're smart. I do hide from her and drink gin in the bathroom though sometimes, because we have we have abandonment issues in my house. But let's talk about your EP, because that's why we're here.
Okay,
Let's talk about your music. Um,
right.
Andrew, I've heard some interviews where you talk about the song. So I'm not going to ask you the generic Andrew who
Yeah.
is Andrew questions, because I think by now we know that Andrew is everyone and no one. Tell me about the song and about the EP.
The song is an idea. It's funny when I talk about a song, I never know whether to talk about, just the music, how it was written musically, or like sort of how it was produced, or
All of
where
it.
the lyrics come from when they were written. I end up saying things that I think kind of uninteresting almost. Like, it was an old idea that was lying around, and then, I mean, it's not the most interesting story in a weird way. But I like the song, and I think it's something, yeah, the aspect, well, there's the parts of it that I feel like are kind of new, but also parts of it that go kind of back into the past, because the idea itself, the kernel of the idea, which is like the melody for the chorus, this came quite a long time ago, but the way I've put it together is different, and the verse is kind of new. Yeah, I've worked on the production, and it was mixed by Bullion, who's a really great artist and producer from London. We did it in sort of long distance. That was really cool. And the video I did with one of my someone who I've made videos with him many times, Jared Figgins, and yeah, I kind of had like, I don't know where the idea came from really, but I initially had the idea that the character Andrew should be like in like, I don't know if you know Cape Town very well. Like, I imagine him being in like Constantia Village, like getting like a coffee at the Seattle and like browsing exclusive books or something like that during his like lunch break. But then it became this sort of all day thing. And then the rugby, like I mentioned a rugby field in the song, and I just wanted to have like shots of like these rugby players. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. I kind of like, I've actually like watched it a few times, which like sounds kind of weird, consume my own media, but I just kind of like the way it ended up. And also the other guy in the video is a really old friend of mine, and I sort of just had this almost like brainwave. I was like, I'm just gonna have him in the video. It's really important. I need to have him in the video, and he was keen to do it. So yeah, kind of strange. I don't know where it all came from, but yeah, I like it.
I like it too. I am definitely Andrew. I am getting coffee at Seattle and browsing exclusive books for many hours, far too often.
Nice.
You say you don't know where it comes from, but I think all artists are inherently conduits, right, for the universe or whatever you believe in, and that the ideas and the energy flow through you and out of you into the rest of us. So thank you
I
for
hope so.
gifting us with your art.
It's a pleasure. I'm glad that you like it. Yeah, thank you.
So you're in the UK, obviously working on new stuff. How's it going?
I actually haven't done any work since arriving here, because I arrived and had to do a hotel quarantine immediately for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did get to do some music in the hotel, but I haven't really like, I've just basically been settling in. So I've only been like out and about for the last 2 days. So I had like a whole lot of admin and stuff to do yesterday. So I've been sort of on the run. But I think from next week I'll be like in the studio and working. But yeah, I feel very optimistic and feel like quite like, yeah, I think it's going to be a good place to do some stuff. Yeah. And yeah, the EP's ready though. The EP's just like, it's all waiting to be released on the 2nd of September. There are a couple more songs, like, some of the songs have already been out. But there'll be a video for each song. And yeah, excited to have that out too.
So yeah, EP out September. You are going to be performing some shows in the UK while you're there. Um, where can we find the information if we happen to be able to be in the UK to come watch you?
So the show is in London on the 13th of October at Moth Club. And you can get tickets on my website, which is mfieldmusic.com.
mfieldmusic.com. Awesome.
Yeah. And also on Instagram, obviously. mfield.music on Instagram.
Matthew, thank you.
I post
keep us up to date with your adventures in the UK. And hopefully we can at some point get vaccinated and come visit you and travel and see you perform.
Great. Yeah. I mean, I'll play shows in South Africa as well. But yeah.
Awesome.
At some point.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.